Shila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki, Namacharya Floridas Thakur ki, Kantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Go Premanande, Glories to the Assembled Devotees, Glories to the Assembled Devotees, all glories to the Assembled Devotees, glories to Shishi Guru, and Gauranga, all glories to Shila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayavadiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Nuttamat Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 14, Text 6. Vritrastu sakatam papa sarvaloko patapana idham drida mati Krishna asit sangrama ulpani. Vritrastu sakatam papa sarvaloko patapana idham dridamati Krishna asit sangrama ulpani.
Vitrastu sakatam papa
sarvaloko patapana
Itam dridamati Krishna asit sangrama ulvane.
Vitrastu sakatam papa
sarvaloko patapana
idham dridamati Krishna asit sangrama ulvane.
Vaishnavis.
Vritrastu
Vritrastu sakatam papa sarvaloko patapana idham dridamati Krishna asit sangrama ulpane. Vritraha Vritrasura tu but saha he katam how papaha although sinful getting the body of a demon sarvaloka of all the three worlds upatapanaha the cause of suffering itham such drida mati firmly fixed intelligence Krishna in Krishna asit there was sangrame ulbani in the great blazing fire of battle. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Vritrasura was situated in a blazing fire of battle and was an infamous, sinful demon, always engaged in giving troubles and anxieties to others. How could such a demon become so greatly Krishna conscious? Short purport. It has been described that a Narayana Parayana, a pure devotee, is rarely found, even among millions and millions of persons. Therefore, Parikshit Maharaj was surprised that Vritrasura, whose purpose was to give trouble and anxiety to others, was one of these devotees even on a battlefield. What was the reason for Vritrasura's advancement? End of purport. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Namo Vistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Paditaram Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Again, the text, Vritrasura was situated in a blazing fire of battle and was an infamous, sinful demon, always engaged in giving troubles and anxiety to others. How could such a demon become so greatly Krishna conscious? Hare Krishna. So before starting, I seek the blessings, especially of His Holiness Kavi Chandra Maharaj, that I may say something meaningful. I seek your blessings, Maharaj. It's a little awkward to sit in front. Like, I guess sometimes Prabhupada would also ask his disciples to speak, just to see what they're saying. So I take it as an opportunity, a test. Hopefully we can hear from Maharaj also. Alright, so we are in this section of the Bhagavatam where we heard the pastime of Vritrasura, and now we hear how Parikshit is asking Shukadev Goswami, wait a minute, how is this possible? This Vritrasura is a great demon fighting on this battlefield with Indra, and all of a sudden he offers beautiful prayers and shows all the symptoms of a pure devotee. So how is this possible? Especially as we just heard yesterday also, this shloka which describes that the Narayana Parayana are very, very rare. It's very rare to find such a devotee of the Lord. So how is it that this Vritrasura was such a devotee? And of course, so that's one topic, the rarity of Vaishnava. And yesterday we already heard about it, how it's very rare to find actually a Vaishnava. And therefore we can be very grateful to be in the association of Vaishnavas. Like the institution that Prabhupada has created, ISKCON, is actually a very amazing place because, you find so many Vaishnavas and you get a chance to associate with like-minded devotees. In Gita, Krishna also says, Manusyanam sahasreshu kashit yati siddhaye, that out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So, out of many thousands, someone actually endeavors for spiritual life, endeavors for liberation, perfection. But even the few who have attained some kind of perfection, they don't know Krishna really. They don't know Krishna in Tattva. And then later in the same chapter, Krishna says, Bahunam janmanam ate jnanamam prapadyante vasudeva saramiti samahatma. So durlabha means very rare, such a person. What kind of person? One who Vasudeva Sarvam Iti, who really understands that Krishna is everything and Krishna is everywhere present. And someone who actually prapadyate, who surrenders after only many, many births and deaths. Very rare to find such a person. And again in the Bhagavatam, in the Kapila Shiksha, we also find description. Kapila Dev describes a pure devotional service, and then he, in the 29th chapter of the 3rd canto, then he describes the gradation of the jivas. This is in the context that he says that the Vaishnava sees the Lord in the heart of everyone, and he can see that everyone is a spiritual soul. So he has an equal vision. Samadarshina, Krishna also says in Gita, right? But just because someone has a samadarshina, it does not mean that the person doesn't discriminate. Prabhupada says, you don't go and embrace a tiger, right? You understand the tiger is also a spiritual living entity, and you respect. But according to the body, there is different kind of dealings with that person. So there, in this regard, then Kapila Dev gives the graduation of the jivas a whole. Can we maybe open the windows a little bit? Yeah. Get some fresh air. So there's a whole gradation of the jivas. The first is the inanimate objects, or the objects that are, don't really move, but still they have some other living immovable entities like trees. Trees, they don't move, but they are living entities. Then entities with greater life symptoms, entities with developed consciousness, and then those entities with sense perception, those who can have a touch sensation, those who have a taste sensation or smell, and then those who can hear, they're even higher. So in this way there's a graduation of living entities. Then it says those living entities who have many legs, and then those who have 4 legs are better than those who have many legs. Like there's some insects, they have, I don't know, 1,000 legs or something, or hundreds or many. But then those who have 4 legs are better than those. And then those who have 2 legs, that's the humans, they are better than those who have 4 legs. So in this way there's a whole graduation. And then of course amongst the human, those who don't follow Varnashram, but then those who follow Varnashram are better. And amongst those who follow Varnashram, those who are Brahmanas are better. But not all Brahmanas are equal. Those Brahmanas who know the Vedas, they are better than those who don't know. And then those who understand the meaning of the Vedas, they don't only know the Vedas, they can recite the shlokas, but they also know the meaning, they are even better. And those who can dispel the doubts of others, those who are so learned in Shastra that they can actually help others to also clear the doubts and become Krishna conscious or God conscious, they are even better Brahmanas. And then those who are liberated, completely liberated from the 3 gunas, they are even better than those Brahmanas. And even better than those liberated persons are the Vaishnavas, the pure devotees. And in this way, then Krishna says, Kapila says, not different from Krishna, he says, therefore, I do not find a greater person than he who has no interest outside of mine, and who therefore engages and dedicates all his activities and all his life, everything unto me without cessation. So that person who has no other interest than my interest, he is the greatest of all. That word samadarsanat means that he has no longer any separate interest. The devotee's interest and the Supreme Personality of God's interest is one. There's no difference. And that's the definition of a pure devotee. And that's when Srila Prabhupada writes his prayers on the Jaladutta. Oh Lord, please just, let me be an instrument, I'm a puppet in your hands, let me dance, that famous prayer. That's the mood of a pure devotee. There is not a single personal desire. It's just like, Krishna, whatever you want me to do, I will do. And of course we are aspiring for that, we're also trying to become servants of the servants of Krishna. But then still, when we observe ourselves, when we are honest and we see there's so many other interests we have. Maybe I like to do this, I like to do that. But a pure devotee has completely, he's just thinking about how can I please Krishna, how can I please the Vaishnavas. And such a person is the greatest of all, and he's very, very rare. So therefore, Parikshit is questioning, doubting, how is it possible that this demon, this Vritrasura, has attained such a level? And Srila Vishnava Chakravarti Thakur has a very short comment. He says, how did most rare bhakti beyond the 3 gunas exist in a demon like Vritrasura, blinded by the 3 gunas? So there is a demon, Vritrasura, and he obviously seems to be blinded by the 3 gunas because he's a demon. He kills others. He gives so much trouble to everyone. So he's completely blinded by the gunas. So how is it possible that bhakti has developed in his heart who is beyond the gunas? This is kind of a contradiction. How is it possible? And what will be the answer of Shukadev Goswami? How is it possible that he advanced in such a way? Yes, previous life, Chitraketu. Now Shukadev Goswami, in just the next couple of shlokas, will start to explain the story of Chitraketu. And yes, it's amazing. This is previous lives. If you see life from the perspective of karma and reincarnation, all of a sudden things make sense, or you can have a better understanding. Without, how is it possible? But as soon as you broaden your perspective and you see there is a past life, this happened before, and that's why this situation is there. So this is a nice example. And of course, this Vritrasura story is also quite amazing because in some way it is challenging our thinking or our understanding. Because here we have someone who outwardly looks like a devotee, like Indra, but inside there is so much ego always. No? And we find the Bhagavad is full of stories where Indra, he becomes very lusty, he runs after the girls, or then he becomes very envious, and he tries to, stop the yogis to attain perfection because he's afraid that they take his position, or he becomes very angry because the Brijbasis, they don't, offer worship to him, and he even is ready to kill the Brijbasis. So externally he's a devotee, but then internally there is a lot of these kind of, we can say demoniac qualities. But then on the other side, we have a demon like Vritrasura who really looks like a demon, and he also behaves like a demon. But then inside, actually, he's a great Vaishnava. So that kind of, it challenges our thinking, because we are very much, we look at the external, and then it's maybe a good thing to reflect. Sometimes we should be careful with judging externally just because someone looks like a devotee. It doesn't necessarily mean that he actually is a devotee. And someone else who looks maybe like a demon, maybe he's actually a very nice person. So that's one thing certainly we can take from this pastime. So just the amazement of Parikshit also is because Vritrasura has shown this symptom of pure devotion, especially through his prayers. So let us just read part of these prayers that Vritrasura has offered, just to remember how what amazing devotion he showed. So he prays, "O my Lord, will I again be able to be a servant of your eternal servant who finds shelter only at your lotus feet? O Lord of my life, may I again become their servant." So that desire, I want to become a servant of the servant of the servant. That's his desire. And then he says, "I do not desire to enjoy Dhruvaloka, the heavenly planets, or the planet where Brahma resides. I do not desire to be the master of power of mystic yoga, and I don't even want liberation." And then comes these famous prayers. "O Lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look for their mother to return and feed them, as small calves tied with ropes await anxiously the time of milking when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers, or as a morose wife whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects, I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you." Beautiful prayer, expressing that lowly, that eagerness. "O Lord, when will I be able to again serve you?" And 3 examples are given, like the small baby birds who are, I'm sure you have seen pictures of how they are like very eager, like, where comes the worms, like they're very eager to eat something. They wait for the mother. Or the calf who wants to drink milk. Or the wife who waits for the husband. When the husband is on a business tour for several days, and she's waiting until he comes back. So similarly, a devotee actually is longing to again be with the Lord. And of course that's that love in separation, which is a very essential feeling in devotion. So then he prays, "O Lord, I'm wandering throughout this material world as a result of my fruitive activities. Therefore, I simply seek friendship in the association of your pious and enlightened devotees." So he's asking for this sadhu sangha. "Let my mind, my consciousness, and everything I have be attached only to you, and let me have this sadhu sangha." So these are amazing prayers coming from the mouth of a demon, the Vritrasura. So, and this is what is really kind of mind-blowing to Parikshit. And Parikshit is asking, "Shukadev, wait a minute. Please explain me." And of course, as we said, Shukadev then explains the story of Chitraketu. And this story of Chitraketu is truly a story of transformation. And that's basically what spiritual life is all about, right? The spiritual life is all about the transformation of the heart from lust into love, or from the selfish, egoistic mentality towards service attitude. And transformation outside is quite easy. We just shave our heads. I should shave again. Shave our heads and then we put tilak and some dhoti, and then we are Vaishnavas. So external it's very easy, but in internal, often we may, although we dress like Vaishnavas, we may still have mentality which are not so pure. So that transformation is crucial. And in this summer when we had our Bhakti retreat in Switzerland, His Holiness Swami Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj was with us, and he gave a seminar on this topic, transformation. He spoke about triggers of transformation, how there is different ways that transformation takes place. And he made the point that, first of all, there is three areas of transformation, because sometimes when we hear about transformation, then we think, well, this sounds nice, but does it actually happen in my life also? What kind of transformation we find in Shastra? Okay, we have this transformation of Chitraketu. Can you think of other transformation in Shastra or in our tradition? Any examples of someone who is completely transformed? For Kumaras, yes. We read in the Nectar of Devotion about it in the morning. And that's quite a sudden transformation also. I mean, they just smell Tulsi leaf. Have you smelled Tulsi leaf? Have you transformed? I mean, yes. Parikshit Prahlad, okay, Parikshit, of course, yes, he kind of, the fact that he has to die within 7 days is kind of, wow, wait a minute. Prahlad, he is born as a demon, but then he gets to hear from Narada in a womb. Chintamani, yes, I mean, or Bilvamangala Thakur, you mean?
Yeah, and no, what's the name of Haridas Thakur?
Yes, the prostitute, prostitute. Yeah, the prostitute or Maya Devi, yeah. And I know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself also, sorry? Murari the hunter. Mrugahari the hunter, yeah. Yeah, the hunter. Yeah, Chadai. So we find many of these stories of success story of transformation. But then, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, he went to Gaya and then he met his spiritual master with initiation. He come back completely mad in love. Before he was like the Nimai Pandit, the scholar, and then he came back completely in bhav, completely in love of God. So then sometimes when we hear this, we think, okay, this is in the Shastra, but where do we see it in the real world? Like I've been around for a couple of years or even decades. I've seen my friends around me. I have not seen anyone going through such an amazing transformation. So does this process actually work? We may have doubt. So then, but there is three kind of areas of transformation. First is the stages of transformation. Then there is aspects of transformation, and there is triggers of transformation. So stages means Vishnava Chakravarti Thakur describes in the Madhurya Kadambini stages of transformation, right? There is stages of advancement. There is Shraddha, and then from Shraddha up to Prema, the 9 stages where we go through. And of course, this is a step-by-step process, but still we can also see that even like the stage of, let's say, of Ruchi, we all, like that's a very high stage, Ruchi, in a sense of, Ruchi means you really have a taste in devotional service. And it means it's not dependent on the external circumstances. Like you always have a taste in the holy name. Like in our case, at least I can speak for myself. Like when there is a kirtan mela or something, we usually ask, where is the schedule? Why do we ask for the schedule? Because we want to see when sings my favorite kirtani, and then if my favorite kirtani sings, then I will go. Why? Because then I have taste, then I have ruchi, namruchi. Because there is a nice melody, nice mridanga player. But if Bhakta so-and-so sings, why should I go there? I don't like his singing, his plays, this melody is boring, I don't like this melody. So we are dependent on the external circumstances. But ruchi means you really have taste, because it's the holy name. This name is not different from Krishna. You just want to sing it, you have so much taste. It doesn't matter who sings and what circumstances. But that's a very high level. Or also ashakti, attachment for Krishna. This is, of course, it's like a very high level. It's just before bhava. But we can also say we also have some ashakti. We also have some attachment. Like when we see the Lord, on the altar, we say, "Oh, Krishna, you're so beautiful." No, we have this feeling where we think, "Wow." I spent Janmashtami this year in Goloka Dham. And with Radha Madan Mohan, seeing Radharani, she's so beautiful. It's like, you just feel attracted, it's like amazing. But real ashakti, real attachment is something else. Like, in our case, we try to focus our mind on Krishna, right? We chant the holy name, we try to focus on Krishna, and then all of a sudden the mind wanders somewhere away. And we don't know how it happened, but all of a sudden we think of something else. Oh, I have to do my bookkeeping today, and I have to go for shopping. I'm chanting. So I try to bring my mind back to the chanting. But on the level of ashakti, it's the other way around. You try to do your bookkeeping or write your shopping list, but then without knowing, your mind wanders away and is there again at the lotus feet of Krishna. That's the other way around. Like, we have so much attachment to Krishna, so much attraction to Krishna, that your mind goes off all the time to Krishna. It's hard to do anything else because you always think of Krishna. So that's a very high level. But what I wanted to say is, even though these are steps or stages of transformation, even on lower levels, we also already have some taste, we have some attachment, some attraction. So in that sense, there is stages of transformation. So that's one. Then there is aspects of transformation. That means that when transformation takes place, it will manifest in different areas of our lives. That means maybe our habits will change. And it already changed. When we became devotees, we changed our habits. No eat-meeting, no gambling. I don't know how many of you were going to casino all the time, but maybe not so much change there. But maybe some of us were smoking, and we changed our habits. Transformation takes place. So it takes place in habits, lifestyle, but also in the taste, in things that we like. It also changes in things we have faith, we put faith in. And of course, desires change, our character ultimately change, and our commitments, where we actually feel committed. So there's different areas, and sometimes maybe we feel that, I'm not making so much advancement, but maybe we have to look at different areas. In some areas, maybe I already did quite a good advancement. I have faith. I really have faith that this Krishna consciousness works, and I have lost faith in happiness in the material world. But maybe I still have to work on my character. But in that area, some transformation took place. So that's the stages of transformation and different aspects of transformation. And then there is triggers of transformation. This was the whole seminar that Krishna spoke about. How transformation can be triggered by different things that happen to us. And for example, like instruction. If we receive instruction from sadhus, like if someone gives us an instruction. Of course, sadhu sangha, interaction, connection with devotees. When we come in the association with devotees, that can be very transformative just by the association of Vaishnavas. Then transformation by impossibility means understanding that material life is impossible. Prabhupada makes this point that spiritual life is difficult, but material life is impossible. Like if you realize, oh my God, this material life is it just doesn't work. It's so painful all the time. That also triggers transformation. And intensity, if we perform Tivrina, Bhakti Yogena, if we do some tapasya, some marathon or some austerity, then that also can trigger transformation. And one transformation can be triggered also by issue or by life issue, by things that happen in our lives. And in this regard, Maharaj referred to Chitraketu. That's why I'm bringing it up. Because if you look at Chitraketu, he went through such a hard life, so many ups and downs, and that actually was the cause of his transformation. In combination with Sadhusanga, because he got the association of Angira Muni and Narada Muni, so he got that Sadhusanga, and he got instruction also from his dead child that came back to life. He got instructions, but then also what he experienced in life, that really triggered a lot of transformation. So that in the 17th chapter, this is to come, after 3 chapters we find these prayers of Chitraketu. Gunaprava etasmin kaho sapa knov anugraha kasvargo narka kova kim sukham dukkam evava. So Chitraketu says, this material world resembles the waves of a constantly flowing river. This world is these are like waves in a river. Therefore, what is a curse and what is a failure? What are the heavenly planets and what are the hellish planets? What is actually happiness and what is actually distress? Because the waves flow constantly, none of them has any eternal effect. Like a river, like a wave, goes up and down, up and down. Similarly, our life is like that. Things goes up and down, up and down, up and down. And if you experience this enough, at some point you realize, wait a minute, this is always changing. One moment I'm happy, next moment I'm miserable. Then again I'm happy, then again miserable. This material world, it sucks. It's really not a nice place. And nothing actually is eternal. This is a deep realization that Chitraketu got here. And of course, if you look at the story of Chitraketu, and this is what will come now in the Bhagavatam, we'll read this. He was kind of on the top of the world, we can say. He was the king of the empire, and he ruled over, and he had many beautiful wives. It's described he had 10 million wives, which is one of the next shlokas will describe. I leave it to the next speaker to explain this part. So he could say he got so much happiness, but then he was also in great distress because he didn't have a son. And that was a great distress, not only an emotional one that I don't have a son, but also very practical, because he needed a successor for the throne. He needed someone who can become the prince and then the next king. So he was in great distress, and then what happened? Angira Rishi came, and he told him there's no problem, we make some arrangements, and then one of his wife became pregnant, and then she gave birth to a child. So then he was completely in bliss, But then also Angira Rishi said, but your son will be known as Harsha Shoka, which means he will give pleasure but also lamentation. It's like, okay, you get something, but 50% will be happiness, 50% will be suffering. How much can you still enjoy it? It's like, you already know. But of course, how do we do with this? We just try to ignore the bad part, right? So, Chitraketu. Anyway, this is normal, like maybe the boy will be a little naughty. Maybe when he goes to school, he doesn't like to listen to the teacher, he will be naughty. Maybe it will be like that. But better to have a naughty boy than to have no boy, right? So I'm happy to have a boy. But little did he know that actually the misery was much more than that, because the co-wives, the 9,900,099, all the other, there were many, 10 million wives, and only one got all the attention because she got a child, and the king gave all attention to her and the child. So they became very envious. So what did they do? They poisoned that small baby, and then it was great sorrow again, great pain. And then what happened? Angira Rishi and Narada Muni show up again, and then they actually made this small baby come alive again. And then he gets wisdom, he gets transcendental knowledge, and again, he feels relieved and he gets some understanding. And in this way it goes on, he gets a mantra, he prays, he gets a darshan of Shankarshan, again in bliss, and then what happens, he sees Parvati and Shiva, like Shiva sits on gives a talk on a Vyasasana and he holds his wife on his lap, and it looks a little funny. Like, okay, I'm a brahmachari, I don't have a wife, but I don't know, maybe tomorrow Prema Rupa will give class and maybe his wife will sit on a lap, like we will think, this is a little strange, like we know that you like each other and that you're in a good relationship, but why you keep your wife on your lap, it's a bit funny. So Chitraketu was kind of laughing at this. Parvati cursed him, so his life again down, he become a demon. So in this way, Chitraketu experienced a lot of ups and downs in his life. And that certainly triggered a lot of transformation. And because, and this is something that, because in this world we have a lot of attachments, and usually life brings ups and downs so that we become more detached and that we get purified. Sometimes we wonder, why do we have to suffer so much? Well, we need it. Mostly we need to, Krishna needs to wake us up a little bit from our sleep. And so the ups and downs are there so that Krishna can shake us out of our ego. And Prabhupada explained the main ego that a conditioned soul has is the I'm the controller and I'm the enjoyer, right? This kind of, in a nutshell, what is the ego it's all about. I'm the controller and I am the enjoyer. So that means whatever I see is meant for my enjoyment, and I always want things to happen according to my plan. I have this I want to control things, this Ishvara above. And of course, there is one thing in life that convinces us that we are not the controller and not the enjoyer if things go bad, right? If things go wrong, if things don't go the way we wanted, and if we experience a lot of troubles, then that's which actually helps us to get detached from this mentality, I'm the controller, because we just realize I'm not the controller. It's not going the way I want it. And therefore Krishna has to give us these challenges again and again so that we realize maybe someone else is in charge and not me. And therefore the obstacles are not obstacles, but the obstacles is our mentality, the wrong mentality that we have. On what kind of mentality? Number one, that I should not have obstacles in my life. That's the basic mentality that we usually have. We all think, I'm such a nice person, why should I have obstacles? Why bad things happen to good people? I'm a good person, why bad things happen to me? Why is Krishna not protecting me from these things? Right? So that's the one mentality, that there should be no obstacles. Then the second mentality is, okay, if obstacles anyway come, obstacles are bad. It's not good. No, if obstacles come, if something happens that I don't like, it's not good, it's bad. But that's also a wrong mentality. And the third, obstacles, you can't overcome it. It's insurmountable, it's so difficult to overcome the obstacle. So these three mentalities, I shouldn't get obstacles are bad, or I can't overcome obstacles, that mentality is actually the problem, not the obstacle itself. Because obstacles is normal, there will be always obstacles. But then we need to change our mentality. So if bad things happen in our lives, then there is certain things we can do. One is there is something bad happen, but we can see there is still something good also. So even if something bad happened, we should always try to see something good also. And sometimes we also should see that if something bad happens, something good comes out of the bad. Have you ever experienced something that looked like something very bad, but it turned out to be very good? Yeah. So can someone give an example? Something which... Any example? I mean, I once worked in a... I did some temporary, just some jobs, and I worked as a gardener. First day, and then like one big stone fell on my finger. And so badly that the finger was black, I had to go to hospital. So this was very bad, and it was very painful. But the good thing, I got afterwards 4 weeks of paid holiday. And it was summertime, so the rest of the summer so something bad happened, but something good turns out. I mean, this is a very materialistic example, but I'm sure we also have more spiritual examples, where we think, oh, why this is happening, this is not good, but then we can see, ultimately, for my also spiritual purpose, actually it was good. I wanted to go to India. I wanted to live in India. That was my dream, to just live in India. But then my spiritual master told me, well, actually you should stay in Zurich temple. So I felt this is very bad, because I wanted to be in India. But then later I realized, a year later I became temple president, and by that service I learned so much, and I think as a person I grew so much more than if I would just be somewhere in India. So sometimes we have our own plans, but then Krishna has another plan. And later on we realized actually it was good, it was helpful. And the third thing we can look, that sometimes bad things happen, and then Krishna wants us to develop something, a good quality from that we need to learn something. Because these things happen, we need to learn and develop something. So in this way we can always try to take advantage from obstacles and challenges. And that's certainly in the life of Chitraketu, although he went through so much difficulties, at the end actually he became such a wonderful an amazing, pure devotee. And I will slowly come to an end, just with maybe 2 more thoughts. So here the word Dritta Mati Krishna is important in the text. This describes that, because we speak about advancement, what does it mean to be actually advanced? And Dritta Mati means firmly fixed intelligence in Krishna. So once one whose intelligence, one's mind, one's focus is firmly fixed in Krishna. It's kind of nishta. Someone is really focused, really fixed. That's a symptom of advancement. And nishta, the symptom of nishta is mainly that one is able to really absorb, to really absorb in kirtan, really absorb in hearing Krishna Katha, that ability to be focused. That's the symptom, main symptom of nishta. And yeah, Vritrasura became a devotee. He became such an advanced devotee. It's very amazing. But in some way we can also say, how is it amazing that I became a devotee? I was also like a demon. How amazing that Christoph Trutmann, this is my karma name, Christoph Trutmann became a devotee. This is amazing. Of course I'm still an aspiring devotee. I still try to become a devotee. I'm still a work in progress. But nevertheless, if you compare myself 25 years back, there is some change. So how amazing is that, actually? And someone could say, well, but you didn't have horns, you didn't give trouble to all the living entities like Vritrasura. But what does it mean to be an asura? In the Chaitanya Charitamrita there is an interesting text. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami makes a very strong statement. He says, Hena kripa maya Chaitanya nabaya yeyana sarvatoma ha'elo tare asura ganana. One who does not show respect unto this merciful Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or does not worship him, should be considered a demon, even if he very much exalted in human society. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, if someone is not worshipping Gauranga, he should be considered to be a demon, even if he may be an exalted person in society. But if he does not worship Gauranga, he's a demon. Quite a strong statement. So I didn't worship Gauranga, as a young person. So only when I came to Krishna consciousness, I learned about Gauranga. So that's why before that I must have been also a demon. And another way to look at it, Shastra define this word asura as asushu ramate iti asura means that an asura is one who finds pleasure outside of the pleasure of Krishna, who tries to find pleasure in his own, for himself, not in the pleasure of Krishna. That's an asura. And certainly that description fits to myself before I became a devotee. Well, I mean, even now, it was all about my own satisfaction, my pleasure. So in that sense, we can see, certainly we also had demoniac tendencies and qualities, and how amazing is it that we were able to become devotees. So, but how does one actually become a devotee? How is it that some people are devotees? How many people live in Köln? Yeah, citizens? How many?
1 million.
Like 1 million. Like Köln has about 1 million people who live here. And how many people are devotees in Köln? I don't know. I mean, you have quite a good community actually. You're quite a good number of congregational members. But still, if you compare to 1 million, it's not so many. So how is it that a few hundreds became devotees and a few hundred thousands didn't become devotees? So that's an interesting question. How does actually Bhakti develop in the heart? How is it that? Is it just by good fortune, like some pious activity? Some were more pious, and then they became devotees. Or is it by Krishna's causeless mercy? Krishna just gives mercy to some. What would you say? Is it piety or it's Krishna's mercy, causeless mercy? Any thoughts?
Bhakti is the cause of bhakti.
Bhakti is the cause of bhakti. Okay. Bhakti is the cause of bhakti. It's causeless. What does it mean? But it's cause. I mean, because if you say, Krishna is just giving mercy. The problem with that is, first of all, if you say it's by pious activity, that means the cause of bhakti is piety, and that's not possible because bhakti is actually a spiritual energy. Bhakti is independent, so it cannot be by pious activity. And when we say it's Krishna's mercy, Krishna gives mercy to everyone, then it seems that Krishna is partial, because he gave mercy to us, but he didn't give mercy to the other million people in Köln. So when we say, okay, Bhakti is causes Bhakti, what does it mean? Or how would you explain it?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's independent Bhakti, but at the same time, the mercy of the Vaishnavas.
Yes, and the Vaishnavas play the crucial role here. That the Lord, being subservient to his devotee, lets his mercy follow the mercy of his devotees. Krishna is very merciful, but Krishna basically delegates the task of distributing mercy to the Vaishnavas. So that's why the Guru is also known as Sri Krishna Kripa Murti. He's like the manifestation of Krishna's mercy. He's the manifestation of Krishna's compassion. So Krishna's mercy is manifested through the Vaishnavas. And then the Vaishnavas, they give the mercy. That's why Prabhupada said, sometimes I have created your good fortune. It's by the mercy of the Vaishnavas. And especially, a personality like Srila Prabhupada, who just wherever they touch their lotus feet, create a place of pilgrimage, whoever they meet. People, we speak of triggers of transformation. If one sees a pure devotee, just by seeing a pure devotee, one gets freed from all sins. And we know these stories that, like there is a Ratha Yatra festival and there's some police officers, like a black police officer, and the Prabhupada comes and he calls out, this man is shining, this man is shining. We hear these stories, how even non-devotees, they could see how Prabhupada had an effulsion. And so that's the effect of pure devotees. That, but even with the devotees, it's actually, why do devotees give that mercy, that bhakti? Because they have bhakti in their hearts. So it's bhakti in the heart of the Vaishnavas, who then inspire that devotee to give that same bhakti to others in their hearts. So that's why bhakti causes bhakti, because it's the bhakti in the heart of the Vaishnava who then causes the bhakti in the heart of the conditioned soul. And in this way, bhakti is spreading through the Vaishnavas, through the mercy of the Vaishnavas. So certainly Chitraketu also got the wonderful opportunity to associate with Narada Muni, Angira Muni, and also, as we said, he went through a lot of very turbulent life, which also triggered additional transformation. And in this way, he became the great devotee that he is. And this is the story that we will now hear from Shukadev Goswami, who will answer the question of Parikshit. How is it that this Vritrasura, although he is a demon, he became such a great devotee? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Maharaj, would you like to add something, or maybe have some thoughts on what we spoke?
Yeah, well, the causes to mercy is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There's one morning walk where we were talking about it with Prabhupada, and they were trying to come up with examples of cause. How can there be no cause? Prabhupada said the mercy is the cause. The mercy is the cause of the causeless.
The mercy is the cause of the causeless mercy.
Vishnu John Swami once asked Prabhupada why I'm getting more mercy than everyone else. Why are you giving me more? Prabhupada said, I'm giving everybody the same. You take it. You're taking it.
Oh, yeah. Why someone gets more mercy than others? Well, Prabhupada says it gives mercy to everyone equally, but you're taking it. Yeah. It's like the example of the rain. The rain falls everywhere, on the stone, on the desert, the water, but where there is a land which is able to receive. I guess so there is something from our side that we can try to make ourselves more receptible for that mercy. Right? And here comes humility and simple heart where we can try to receive that mercy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj. Yeah.
That's what made me remember one story of Srila Prabhupada was in the park and there were some dogs there and Prabhupada was feeding one dog more than the other one. And the devotee started asking, why you are feeding that? Because he's screaming more. I don't know screaming, how to say, I don't know how to say.
Yeah, also.
And so the mercy we need to,
we have to be eager. We have to be eager to receive that mercy. The more eagerness we show, then we are able to receive that eagerness and that mercy. Yes. Please, yes.
In the beginning, you said how actually it's easy to shave your head or easy to
relatively easy. Relatively easy.
And then later on, you said that it's not so easy. This is not the point. Is that in the Jaiva Dharma, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said when there was one sannyasi, one Mayavad sannyasi, coming to this Baba Vaishnava, and he was convinced in the philosophy, and he said, "I want to dress like you." And this the Vaishnava answered, don't try to do this prematurely. When you're convinced inside, it will be naturally, it will manifest. Your conviction from your heart will manifest in your external
Right.
So,
ideally.
Sorry?
Yeah, please.
So initially, at least in initial stages, there has to be some internal conviction or internal advancement, so that you can actually get yourself to change your clothes. And later on is a different story. Later on is a matter of continuation,
right.
As you said, tolerating the narcos and all.
Then commitment, getting more committed.
Initial stage, there has to be some internal actual realization, so they can
Yeah, thank you for that comment. Yeah, certainly it's true that ideally we have. That's why we should sometimes when we have new bhaktas, we tell them you wear bhakta pants, okay? Maybe not immediately put the dhoti or even tilak if you know a bhakta is still smoking or he's having some bad habits. You shouldn't put tilak and dhoti everything and then you still smoke cigarettes or something like that. Sometimes we ask devotees to wait. But as you said, ideally there should be some inner conviction that then the external is just a manifestation. It's also said when, for those who want to become sannyas, it's not that you just take a danda in your hand and now you become a sannyasi. But actually you should become first sannyas internally, and then it just naturally will manifest externally by that dress. But it has to be first inside. that's in general, principle. Thank you. Yes.
You said it has nothing to do with highest credit or any special credit, but why some souls take it then? We do the book distribution, having done everything, but some souls take it, most souls not. There must be some kind of credit out there.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. There is something which is called Bhakti and Mukhi Sukriti, that usually the fact that we are able to practice Krishna consciousness means that in previous lives or previous before, we had some interaction, we got in touch somehow or other with Bhakti. Maybe we heard the holy name, maybe we I don't know, we opened the door for a sadhu without knowing, or we saw a book. So by an initial contact, then some Agyata Sukriti is created. And then later on, we will be able to actually grasp or receive the mercy. And there comes the preaching. That's why preaching is so important. Because by doing Harinam, what we actually do, we create the opportunity for the conditioned soul to receive some Agyata Sukriti, unknowing some credit. And the thing is, like, there is Jnana Mukhi Sukriti, there is Karma Mukhi Sukriti. That means you can do some pious activity. For example, someone is opening a hospital, someone is financing some doctors or some, and as a result of this, in the next life he will be very healthy. Or Jnana Mukhi Sukriti, someone is supporting teacher or opens the schools. In the next life he will be very intelligent, blessing of Saraswati. So these are material piety. You do some pious activity, and as a result you get some benefit from that. But Bhakti or Mukhi Sukriti means you somehow you get in touch with devotional service, and you interact with it, and as a result you get sadhu sangha. And by that sadhu sangha you actually are able to receive bhakti and start your journey. That's how I heard it. Yes.
Can I say something actually, because I also have
Yeah, March first.
This, like now, Satchidananda Swami mentioned, all the people were taking videos and stuff of the Hari.
Yeah. It's
they're sharing that, so they're doing Sankirtan.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing, they have no idea. They just think, oh, this is far out, and they show their friends.
Yeah.
And some of them, it ends up thousands of people watching.
Yeah.
So they're getting so much, bhakti.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful example. It's a very simple act. People don't even think. Just filming and sharing.
Yeah, Krishna's made it so easy. So
yeah. Krishna is kind of, wow, you share my Harinam Sankirtan, all the blessings for you, like.
The thing is that we don't maybe realize how powerful the Harinam is.
Yeah.
He told me how the guy with 2 or 3 million followers,
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, we were in Spain doing Harinam with the team Harinam Project, and one sir that was like maybe 80 years old with his iPad. He was doing taking video. He asked, "Can I do a video?" Yes. And then he took a video, and like some minutes after, he asked Prema, and he told her what he's doing. He's in the town. He don't do nothing, but he do like to show all the community what going on in the city. So he have like
it's an influencer,
followers, and he put that video of Harinam, and then the explosion, because there were like 50,000 views in like 2 hours.
Wow. Yeah, you do Harinam and you see maybe a couple of dozen people on the street, but then 50,000 people watched.
Yeah, because he put the video so we can check that.
If I can say, actually, I had actually for some lecture and what is in Puranas, it has some about this devotee who is coming to the chanting of the holy name. I mean, actually, on the sadhana, that we have to thousands of lives before make some religious activity like this. I have no idea what this some Maharaj say actually in Purana. It's this. I don't read like this actually, but Maharaj say actually has some description about this.
Yes, there is also in the Bhagavatam, in Kapila Shiksha, we find description of where it's described that one who chants the holy name, he must have been performed already all Vedic sacrifices, have studied all the Vedas, that the description is there. My understanding is that I think Prabhupada gives the example of a high court judge. If someone is a high court judge, he has studied law, right? I mean, you can't be a high court judge if you have not studied law. It's like, that's natural thing. So similarly, if one chants Hare Krishna, you must have done the other things before already. So that's kind of basically it's a glorification of the Puranas, or the scripts describe this as a glorification of the power of Bhakti. Bhakti is so glorious and so powerful that actually it is the best of all the processes, and someone who is engaged in it, certainly he must have done this in the past. And I guess there's different ways to look at this. In some way, as a conditioned soul, we have traveled through millions of lifetimes, so naturally we have done many of these things. And another thing is that Prabhupada explains that university, I mean, you can get a PhD by studying, but sometimes a university also just awards you a PhD. So similarly, perfection can be also like that. So maybe you have gone through all of the levels yourself, and then you achieve it, but sometimes also you just get a special mercy, and you can achieve it also.
Yes, it's an anyway actually. If we have to, someone in our way, do some religious activity actually, it means mercy, because actually we are someone in our way connected with
also,
God actually,
again, yeah.
And we have with devotees also actually.
Also,
means, and this connection is mean giving for the us mercy actually, in thousands lives.
Also, yeah. Okay, maybe the last, and then I think we end.
If I may, because I have come very time, sorry.
Yes.
To your lecture, but if I may ask a question.
Yes, sure.
According to what I heard, the difference between the people are popular increasing, so they send videos to YouTube, there is a certain. What is the difference between photo and video?
Between photo and video? What do you mean? I mean, of course.
Photo, they send photos too.
Of course, video they can.
Video, so what is the difference?
Of course, video is more powerful in the sense that they can also hear the holy name. If they see photo, they maybe see the Vaishnavas. These are Hare Krishnas, so they maybe chant one time Hare Krishna because they see Hare Krishna picture. But if they see a video and hear the holy name several times, of course, then there is more benefit, I would say.
Video is also, we can say video is also some kind of sangha.
Yeah, there is, of course, this is a little controversial.
Video, photo, I mean, not video, yes, but photo.
Yeah. Pictures are powerful. Prabhupada wanted to make sure that there are pictures in his books, especially pictures from the spiritual world, because they are windows to the spiritual world. So if conditioned souls see pictures of blissful Vaishnavas, that can also be certainly very enlivening for them, beneficial. Right, so thank you so much. We will end here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, His Holiness Kavichandra Maharaj ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.